Okay, I'm back. My system, let me get you set up here. My system decided to do a reboot right in the middle of the live without asking me. Such is life, hey? Friday. Rightio. I will wait a second or two before we get straight into it because I know it takes a minute or two for Facebook to let you know that I'm live online. So it gives me a chance, oh, by the way, if you don't know who I am, because you're joining me for the first time, I've got quite a few new people that have jumped on in the last 24 hours. So hi, great to meet you. Thanks for coming. The more the merrier, and the more that we all do this together, the bigger the morphinogenic field we build. Bump the table, sorry. And the bigger, more amplified the experience is potentially then for you. Plus, I'm all about building a tribe and supporting one another and having each other's back and reveling in everyone's successes and their growth. So this type of thing really suits me to a T. I've had a couple of great questions and remarks that have come in the last 24 hours. So I'll elaborate yesterday a little bit on something that I mentioned, is that for those of you that are wanting to get notified when we go live, it's not just good enough to hit that follow button at the top of the page. When you hover over that or you click on it, depending on what type of device that you're on, it'll bring a little drop box down and you need to make sure that it's clicked to seeing it first. So then that way you get sent the notifications, and also it'll have in there see first live feeds and posts. And if you make sure that little circle is clicked, then it'll make sure that you get the notifications. You can change it at a later date, but that's what we sort of need to have happen for the 30 days. The other thing is that somebody who I've worked with long-term over the years, but I hadn't worked with in recent time, noticed that we've integrated now this tapping process over the area of the belly, so the gut brain. And when we do that tapping, it's just an inch or so above the navel, the belly button there. And our focus primarily is on the area of the small intestine, because that's where we associate with the enteric brain or the gut brain as being there, even though the gut brain is the entire digestive system that runs from top to bottom, as I mentioned in live a week or so ago. So that is relatively a new thing that has been popped into the tapping process, not only for cortices or the rest of the access techniques that people learn, but also whenever we are doing formulas as part of sessions and treatments, then we absolutely integrate the gut brain tapping into that tapping process. So if any questions come up for you during this time or after, make sure you feed them into the comments box because it's fantastic. Okay, so let's go in. This is day 3 of us doing the cortices technique, and we're going to start by placing our hand at the base of the brain there on the occiput, and whilst we're taking nice big deep breaths, we're going to do light tapping. We do light tapping, no pounding, on the top of the brain, making sure that you're connecting with both sides of the brain. And we tap over the heart brain and over the gut brain. And again. So the attention is on the brain. I feel like doing it a third time, so I'm going to stick with that. You're going to bring your hand up to the next hand position and go ahead and do the same thing. Tapping on the head brain, heart brain, gut brain. Our intention is that this is improving communication through both hemispheres of the brain, so that the communication between the corpus callosum can communicate better between the left and right sides. Our intention is that it is improving the circulation through not only the whole brain, but it improves the circulation of communication and energy flow, the circulation of emotions within the brain and from the brain to the rest of your body. Move your hand up to the next hand position. And again, tapping over head brain, heart brain, gut brain. Good morning, Linda. Good to see you. Nice big deep breaths. Always do exaggerated breathing when we're doing the Cortices technique. Also, if you're anything like me, I'm a really visual person, and I'm also quite a kinetic learner. So I actually go and research different parts of the body-mind complex, or do Google image searches, so that I know what it is that I'm dealing with better, or that I can visualize different parts of the brain and different structures. You don't necessarily have to know what all of them do, but just to get a bit more of a holographic viewpoint can sometimes be really beneficial depending on what type of learner you are. Remember, when you come to the top of the head, you can either tap over the top of the hand, because you're tapping within the field of the brain, and heart brain, gut brain, or you can tap at the front, you can tap at the back. Move your hand all the way around to the front. Hands with fingers closed together, run from front to back. This is called imprinting, so we're going to take a couple of nice big deep breaths from this point. And the focus here is on the limbic section of the brain, the temporal limbic section of the brain. It does a lot of things, but it's primarily where a lot of our memories and the emotions that are associated with those memories are stored. So this can be really beneficial for smoothing some of that stuff out. Go ahead, either take one hand away and tap it in over all three brains, or imagine that your hands are in gloves and that you're taking them out. You slide them out and the gloves stay there. So this is the imprinting part. And then you can take both hands and tap them in over the head brain, the heart brain, and the gut brain. Beautiful. So remember, if you're under any stress, pressure, run into any pain today, if you're feeling unwell, overwhelmed, overworked for whatever reason, go ahead and try that, tap it out, but take a moment to really sit with it and just allow yourself the 2 minutes to work through that technique. If you're sort of not being mindful and you rush through it, you won't get the benefits of it. Remember, attention to what you're doing and your intention about what's happening is absolutely everything. It's a game changer when it comes to the effectiveness of the technique and the benefits that your brain, your body, you are going to get out of it, okay? Thanks for joining me. Lots of love. Bye.